I hope everybody's been having a great week so far. Everybody also keeping in mind what is coming and preparing using the tool. I don't have any major announcement across my desk, so we'll go straight into our exchange. Again, we know now the dynamics for those who are here. For those who are new to the room, it's an open question session. Just raise your hand and I'll bring you forward and you'll be able to ask your questions so everybody can benefit also from the exchange. Um, I have created a platform where I host the recap of these sessions, making it accessible to everybody. So I'm going to put the link in the description so everybody can have that as well. Uh, there are some information that I'm putting forward on the platform, also ways for us to be able to exchange on what you want to learn or what you want me to cover. So I recommend that you take a look at it. Um, with that said, we can jump right into the how-to session. Say anybody has a question, they can raise their hand, and we'll go over the inquiry together.
I don't know if I necessarily have a question, but I did want to bring something to people's attention in case they
Hmm.
run into it for some reason. And I did report it to support. For some reason, when using your app and
Okay.
pulling up a contact and then trying to message them, it's not working. That's not really a question. So just everybody in here, if you notice that there's a problem, it has been reported to support.
Okay. Definitely, if you have been experiencing that, just to gauge if it's something that is spread out, put a one in the description just to see if it's something that is spread out. That
Yeah, it
would be
seems like it's
something good.
mostly on mobile on the app. You can do it
Mhm.
on desktop or Mac, but the app is having issues right now.
Okay. Most likely going to an update phase.
Probably
Okay.
because of the now nav is what I was thinking.
Most likely. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to share, bring aboard? No. Well, in that case,
Oh,
if
excuse me.
you
I
what?
was trying to find my mute.
Go ahead, Gene.
Um, I
Mhm.
reported or sent up two change requests on the Leader AI. Um, and I don't know if it's translating properly because they weren't necessarily understanding what I was asking for on the two things. It was in one email on
Mhm.
almost the same, it was in the same area. And they kept first telling me like one thing is when you go in and you set up a link and you give it a title, we have up to 140 characters allowed, but and of course, probably never going to use that many. But when you're actually in there and you click on that link to blow it up to go to that link, um, the title only shows a few characters, then dot dot dot, and it should at least word wrap at the top so that you can read more of the title because
You're
you can see the whole title. And
mhm.
then down below that, if you don't own the URL, like Zoom, I'm putting in Zoom links in there for Zoom recordings for trainings and stuff and presentations. It's giving a Zoom description. It's not an editable description. And we should have the option to be able to edit that description or input a description in of our link. Because I don't need a description of what Zoom is. I need a description of what my link is
I guess
that's
yeah,
in
I
there.
understand.
But I've submitted
Okay.
those two things, but like I said, I don't know if it's being fully understood in the first place. They said they've sent it forward, but I really don't know what they're sending forward to know whether they actually truly understand it or not. And I wish there was a better way in support of reporting change requests. I'm a feature creep. You'll learn that. And
No, I understand.
I just I wish that there was something in the system that we could do a change request and say, hey, I have A in this area, and because we're submitting it, it's in Leader AI, it's going to go to that team and get put in the shuffle, and they decide whether it's something feasible to fix or not. Because then hopefully they're understanding more of what what we're asking for. So,
No, definitely I understand. One thing to note that these changes are done across the board. So sometimes
mhm,
they'll look at the impact across the board as well. So
exactly.
it's always good to make those requests because if enough of those are received, then that request becomes a priority. That's one thing. Two, what I would suggest, and this is for everybody that has encountered any type of technical difficulty that they're trying to explain. Sometimes explaining it in our words can lead to maybe some confusion. Let's use the tools that we have. Open up your Zoom, record, and explain what is happening so that at least the other person can get to see the recording and gauge where this is going properly. For overall, I would suggest whenever we're having issues, technical issues that we're trying to bring across, let's use what we have. Record yourself explaining the situation in your words, and that allows them to better see and understand the issue. You know that you're coming across clearly, and definitely, Gene. What you can do, are you currently exchanging with them via email as well?
No, well, they said they forwarded it to the team or whoever was responsible. So we're done with that communication until someone with that team replies back, either asking questions or whatever. But it's
Okay.
been forwarded
Next,
from support to the next team. So,
the next team, yeah, it goes because definitely there are layers of communication to go through. The support team will sort out basically those email, assign it to the department that needs to follow through, and then they will come back to you. Again, this is all subject to the workload, and again, we're in a time where there is definitely a deadline that is superseding everything
oh
there.
yeah, I've been
Uh,
working with tech for years, so I know everything's 2 weeks. And guess what? 2 weeks later, it's still 2 weeks away. And then guess what? 2 weeks later, it's still 2 weeks away.
But in the meantime, you're getting so many goodies. You're like, well, you know what? Details.
Yeah.
Let's use the good
But
things that are coming. So that's
yeah.
great as well.
But to me,
Um,
there's just a couple of common sense things that I ran into. There's like, well,
mhm.
why aren't you showing me more of the title? Because I think it's showing maybe 12 or 15 characters and then dot 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 of a title that it's more explanatory there. And I understand that when it's in the smaller box before you click on it, you
Mhm.
can't show much of the title, but once you click on it, it should show more. And then again, like I said, I don't need a description for Zoom.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what Zoom
definitely.
is.
These type of things can be also tied into the ownership. For example, Zoom themselves will force
Mhm.
their branding through,
Yeah.
regardless of what you do. So we're using these tools. We have to accept that limitation. Maybe depending on the premium that we take, we have more control over the branding, but these are things that we have to keep in mind as well. Um,
No, I
Workarounds.
got you.
I
Yeah.
definitely understand and appreciate the devil's in the detail. This is where the difference is made in the
Mhm.
presentation, the conversation, or the ease at receiving the information that is offered. So definitely,
Hey, Gene, I would say
Yeah.
let's bring that up on Friday's Now Club.
Okay. I can do that too.
That's probably the
definitely.
better place for us to direct it.
So
Now, when you put these inquiries across all the channels also that you have access to, then that also creates weight in the request. So that's a good thing as well.
already cool. Thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions? Everybody getting familiar with the business profile and the impact of NAV, the product description that we're getting, the new marketing system acquisition, new customer acquisition system. Are we looking at that? How are we getting familiar with that? Because that's going to make a difference in and out of NAV, right? Even if we don't have NAV, understanding that process and putting it through our conversation or system is key. Go ahead, Rita.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
everybody, and thanks, Virgil. I have a question about what you were just speaking. So I did do the profile and I have those three sections. I don't remember what they're called, but the customer acquisition and the something and the something. Okay, so once that's done, what is the next step?
Well, I'll show you. Let me share my screen there and we'll take a look at it. Well, one of the things is this is mapping out things that you want to keep in mind. So I'll go to mine here. We'll take a look at one and we'll go over that. So here,
Mhm.
I'll let it populate. One of the things that you want to do is start evaluating what it says vis-a-vis of your own rollout or your own strategy or prospect journey. One of the things, for example, I focus on in the first is what it's saying here, trying to get a better grasp of who I'm actually talking to. This comes across a lot, and I'll explain. When you're looking at this age bracket, 30 to 50, it doesn't seem like a large age bracket, and everybody would share the similar experience, give or take, right? You would think. But if you start looking at this in entrepreneurial years, just like dog years, right? This is different. If you're in business at 30, it means that you started at least at 25 or considered you might be a beginner or actually already an experienced businessman, right? If I take the age bracket from 30 to 45, I'm most likely looking at somebody that has already tried or established his first business or looking at restarting the process again. If you're at 50 in this space and have been since 30, you're the equivalent of an elite in knowledge or in exploration in experience. So the conversation for you, if I'm to sell you or offer you something, would be totally different. Unless you are crossing over. You have worked and you're retired, right? 50 is a year where we're starting to consider retirement, and we're now crossing over into a new activity. So we're a starter up. So you have to look at these. Okay, well, this is very broad. How do I go back in there and use that? Here, for example, step one, identify and connect using Nowsite AI, create personal driven content that speaks directly to the entrepreneurial challenges. If I hadn't thought about that, then I have to come back and say, well, okay, well, what are these entrepreneurial challenges that this market is facing, and how do I adapt my conversation to meet those challenges, right? You're analyzing it. Eventually, the nav will use all that and give you all cooked up prompts. But in order to really drive the machine properly, you want to understand what all these different pedals that are being pushed behind your scene, right? So you want to take a look at that, interpret that. I would even take this, right, and use Eric. Okay, well, based on this conversation, how do I approach this step by step? How do I elaborate on that segment? Uh, Now, side Justin, well, based on this conversation, how do I apply my set of tools across? This is when you're really starting to take advantage of the AI, even going back to your AI here. Okay, AI, help me make sense of this conversation in simple and in practical steps. You're talking to yourself. That is what you want to be doing at this point, right? Same thing, for example, for those who are preparing their list, right? Um, I assume that your list, depending on how you have acquired them. If it was over time, then you know the interest of the people that you have put in this list. If it's something that you have acquired somewhere else, then start looking at these profile. If possible, even bring them in. And if you have the enhancement feature, try enhancing them to see what we can get, right? Because you want to start separating your broad list into specific category. Make sense?
Yes.
Gene, you have a question?
Well, you asked about how we were using it, and going back to the business profile, I it's limited to, I think, 1,500 characters, and we have several different things that we go through in our process with an interactive video we could send someone, or send them to a Monday night customer testimonial or Tuesday night presentation, stuff like that. And I would try to get those things in there and some of the details that are needed around it. And I was running out of space. So I had to keep going to Eric AI to all right, slim this down for me, slim this down for me. And it still was 1,500 and something, just over. So then I had to jump over to ChatGPT because Eric just would not take it below the 1,500. And
Well,
ChatGPT
how are you phrasing that? 1,500 characters or symbols?
rewrite this, um, rewrite the following under 1,500 characters.
Characters might be the issue. Here, if you notice, we usually quote symbols, right?
Okay.
Try using symbols.
Okay.
And when you hit the mark, let's put it this way, knowing that the AI might go over, restrict it even more. This is what I do. For example, in this space, we were stuck at 750 at one point. Well, when I would ask the AI to reduce and simplify my business conversation, do it under 700 symbols. So I already
Mhm.
lowered down the base. So if it overshoots, well, these characters or these symbols rather are there. Okay, be careful with symbols and characters. Every word count with the AI, right? So keep that in mind. Stick to the syntax of these message. That should help. Make
Okay.
sense?
I
Okay,
hadn't even thought about
and
that actually.
yeah, and one
And
other thing, is in the description. Yes, we want to give as much as we can. But for example, if one of our how, meaning, for example, these webinars require a lot of detail, then it should have its own product profile, service profile, webinar profile. So that way we can really go at it. Make sense?
yeah, but then I'll have three different business lines to try to work with a prospect instead of just one.
Okay,
So
let's put it this way: the prospect, the webinars, the classes, the support group, or what you're offering, and the how this prospect is getting this service. Correct? Was
I'm
that?
sorry, repeat that now.
I said I was trying to understand the issue. The extra lines where you're hitting basically the maximum was in the content, the details of how the service was rolled out. Was that it?
Yeah,
You
because
want to?
we use the interactive video that we can send people, and there was certain verbiage for scripting within that we try to use, and
Mhm.
then adding in the website for the Monday night testimonials and the Tuesday night presentation. We can even invite to the Thursday night training and stuff like that. And then I had some other details in there. And then I
Okay.
just had to try to slim it down. That's what I was saying. I
Okay.
finally jumped into Chat GPT to get it down to 1,300 something, but it didn't give me the URL. So then I was able to go
You're
back and add the URLs I needed and then got it in there properly. But it was a little bit of a battle going back and forth to try to get the character
okay.
count down. Because there was, I tried to do things in bullet points, stuff like that, but there's just some things that just couldn't be done in bullet points even. So with
Okay.
what we needed in there. And that's one of the reasons why I wish that if somebody had the unlimited and had the leader AI, that we could tie those two together so that then anything we're updating leader AI is also updating over here at the same time. But so
Eventually. Right now, we're really talking about two different functions, so they're not tied together yet. But definitely try what I put forward. And if
mhm.
anything, we can book a meeting and we'll try to see how we can work it out together.
Yeah,
But I'm pretty sure that the level of skills you'll have this figured out.
yeah. I just hadn't thought
Um,
about saying the word symbols to Eric AI. Makes
there you go.
sense. So
And undershoot the restrictions so that if it goes over the top, or we have that buffer zone, for example, right? Margin of error.
yeah,
Okay.
cool. Thank you.
Oh, pleasure. Any other question in that direction? No? Okay. I did something. I'm not sure if everybody has visited the how to workshop newsletter. I'll put it again in the chat. Since last time everybody really liked the code snippet overview, I added a few interesting things that you could look into. We showed how we can embellish the website with the integration. And one of the how-to question that is always on an entrepreneur mind is how to cash in. So I left you a little treat here. I recommend taking it, taking a look at it, and maybe we will include it in the next how-to case or overview. I also included this Google form. Remember, everything that I'm doing here is also a case study for all the leaders here who want to do things in a sense to this is more of a community management type approach that I'm applying here to pull what you would want to learn and help. So I created this form showing that you can also use the embed, not just with Nowsite, but with any other platform that allows you to do so. So if you take the time to definitely answer these questions, it will allow us, for example, I'll show you what I'm doing with this. I can see basically where the conversation or the interest is staring in the community, so I can adapt the content for you, right? So these are simple application of that limited thing that we did, integrating embedded code across our website. So not only for the presentation it can help, but for a lot more. And you will see in the document that I left you, take a look at it and we will discuss it next time. Or if anything, we'll discuss it now. Rita, you have a question?
I have a question. Yes, thank you. About Teams.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use Teams for it's for a business, but it's like a whole, can I host my presentations in there? As,
Host means video.
right.
Yeah, you can definitely. Now, right now, the limitation I'll show you, for example, uh, go back to this.
So if I have a course, for example, or
Mhm.
a, let's say there's five sessions. So I can have those housed there and then I can have people join and then they can view. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The
Okay.
one thing, for example, here, as you can see, this is the team section that I'm making available to you. So a little bit of everything that I'm offering is here. You can create different tabs and you can have, for example, here, I'll do it right away. You can have a video tab. No, sorry, courses. All right. Now, you have two ways of doing this. You can do this in the free section here, and this usually require a link. So here you see you have two choices, YouTube or Vimeo. Okay. YouTube gives you the advantages of putting things quickly, freely. Vimeo allows you to create some tiers, membership tiers that can be of use. Allow me here, I'll show you. So here I'll go back to this website. I'll go back to my videos here and here I'll copy the link and I'll come back to it and boom.
Hmm.
So you can pretty much host all your videos here, which eventually I'll be doing as well. So you can host all the videos. You can go into broad presentation as we're doing specific courses as well. In that case, you had the option, see here, to even create courses and leading to any type of billing option. Right. The difference between content, remember, and courses is the fact that the content here tends to be introductory content, freely offered content, leading into opt-in offers, which leads you basically into courses.
Okay.
Make
Okay.
sense? That
Yeah,
answers the question.
it
So
does.
it's a training hub, and on top of that, with eventually your own avatar, you will be able, or at least your trainee, your invitee, will be able to interact, get some questions, answers, and if not, be guided to the next step, how to meet you.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Perfect. Question in that regards?
Monica has a question in the chat. She says, is there live capability with courses/video?
I respond.
Live, meaning live streaming from the platform? No, you wouldn't be able to.
Okay.
Okay. What you No, you wouldn't be able to. I was thinking you can let people understand the link to follow to go to your live stream, for example, if you're using things like StreamYard or things like that. You can make the link available, and I assume as they subscribe, they'll receive notification for when you go on live, but you wouldn't be able to stream directly any content from this space.
Okay. And Coach Blakely did answer that too. He said not currently, but if you can direct them to live, but you can direct them to a live training.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Keisha said, how do you use courses in a paid fashion versus free? And then Coach said, put a checkout page in front of the link.
Why don't we all ask these questions in live? Michelle, ask these questions so that also you train yourself at taking the stage to answer the questions to your prospecting clients. All right. So the first question was, what is, let's go back to these questions. You said the difference between paid course and, what was the first question? Sorry.
That was Keisha.
Keisha. Well, Keisha, open the mic and talk to me directly, please.
Meanwhile, I've answered in the comment section.
The, the more I talk, the more I cough. That's why I wasn't
Oh,
talking.
okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Wish you well.
So
Uh,
you've been in my back office, so you know that I have a lot in my courses. How do I
mhm.
make that a paid something versus a free? Like for the one that you have, that's free, but I have the other one where I want to maybe charge for charge an upsell.
Okay. So if I understood correctly, you have a first part of the course that is free, and you want to charge the next part as an upsell, correct?
Yes.
Well, that conversation is something that is put forward directly into the offer. I'm going to take you to the first stage, and this is a complimentary offer. But if you're ready and committed, these are the next steps to follow. And you point out the journey. They will go themselves, look at the course description, weigh the value versus the price, and opt in.
No,
Right. So it's
I meant the actual steps to make it a paid. Meaning, do I just attach it to my Cash App or Vimeo or
exactly. Usually, what
whatever?
this is why we recommend Vimeo, because Vimeo offers you tier membership. Right? So you offer the free videos, and from there you outline the process to go into the paid service in that account. You noticed in my first team section, I made use of Patreon, which is another way, for example, of offering tier membership. So if you are looking at membership, then these are the type of process you might consider. If you're looking at one paid course, then the little cheat code I gave you would be an option. You just have to have a billing option allowing you to make the offer conditionally to the payment and allow the client that has passed the payment gate to receive their goods. PayPal, for example, allows you to transact. A lot of things are being said on Spotify and Shopify, I think, and or Amazon on online courses. So these are the type of payment gateway that you would look at setting up. If you're looking at membership, direct sales, there has to be a payment option. Make sense? Perfect. So look at Vimeo. I started experimenting with Patreon. It's an option. At the beginning, what you want to do is definitely look at cost effectiveness, right? Um, how much does it cost for me to get into this platform versus the cost of setting up all this independently, and you make your decision. Um, you look at maybe changing or limiting your costs as your uh, intake will grow, as your business dynamic will change, right? So at the beginning, start with the minimum expenses. This is how you stay the longer in your business, right? So make use of everything that could be free, that could be added to your strategy. Go ahead, Gene.
All
Oh,
right.
did I
So,
answer your question first, Keisha? Perfect. Sorry. Go ahead, Gene.
um, so if I'm understanding correctly, with um, I keep on saying Vimeo with Vimeo,
Mm-hmm.
videos, you're saying that there's different structures. So I could set up my courses and have lesson one be the free one. And if I set it up correctly in Vimeo and I tell them, okay, go to lesson two is $19.95. It's an hour-long lesson. You give ABC 1, 2, 3. And when they click that in the courses, it will still go over and they'll have some sort of payment processing through the Vimeo video side. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's pretty
it
good.
offers you basically, when you hear the word tiers, it means, okay, for this price, you have access to this amount of service. For this amount, you have access to this amount of service. For example, you could level up the course cost. I'm going to give you the video, you have access to the video and the training content. Now, if you need hands-on walkthrough with me, there's an added value to do this live or one by one. Every level of service now becomes a tier. Make sense?
Yep. And then um does does Vimeo also offer a way to do a coupon code within that? So 19.95, but since you're coming through this course here, you get it for
That
15.95, use
that you
coupon
have
500.
that you have to take a look. I have to be
Okay.
honest with
I'm
you. I
just
haven't
curious.
gone into the deepest sphere, but in terms of promo codes and promo offer, for me, this is always made or created at rollout. After that, if you want to create a QR code, link it to the link that brings it to it, it's something that is doable. But as long as you understand how to formulate your offer and different pricing option, and this is where we start looking at, for example, in the business and product profile, upsells, opportunities, reorder, and such. How do
Mhm.
I give multiple facets to the same products? Go ahead, Kevin. Or does that answer your question, G?
That does. Thank you.
I
Number
just,
one.
I'm sorry. I just want to add into that when it comes to offering coupon codes and discount codes, it's really based on your processor. Like for instance, I use Stripe because that's what you're talking about is you're going to need to charge your customer in order to have access. So using Stripe, you can have discount codes, offer codes, and all of that kind of thing. So it's not a function of Vimeo or YouTube or whatever. It's a function of whatever payment processor you're using.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely look at the payment processor's functionality in accord to your need when making that choice. Okay. Stripe, PayPal are the and Square are the main payment gate that usually come to my mind. PayPal being the first established one, Stripe and Square coming in with different features. So take a look at this. Don't want to pronounce myself more than that, but there are specific niche that these products are catering to in the first, right? So always keep in mind, okay, which feature am I looking for? Which feature is part of my overall strategy
And,
and pick the
and
right one
they're
for you.
by far, I agree that by far PayPal, Stripe, and Square are the
Hmm.
easiest ones to get set up on. But know that there are other payment processors once you really start getting into higher volume, higher and more consistent volume, then there are other competitive payment processors that don't take as much transaction fees.
Perfect. That is definitely a case. The more the volume, the more the transaction fee will drop, but level up at the pace of your organization.
Exactly.
Okay, sometimes we don't scale ourselves properly and we onboard a little too much that more than we can handle. Okay, we'll give a shot to Kevin and then Paul. Go ahead, Kevin. What you got for me? Oh, sorry. Abra, anything else that you wanted to add? I keep jumping to people with the raised hand. Good. Okay, Kevin, go ahead. Take this
Okay,
the stand.
great. Thank you. As part of my team content, I want to be able to offer audiobooks which are in the MP3 format. I noticed that when I try to do it as a file type, it doesn't read MP3. Do you have any suggestions on the best way to do that?
Um, the audiobooks, are they going to be downloaded for free or?
I was hoping to host them here so that they can listen to the audiobook or maybe even download them.
Yeah, I think what you're going to keep in mind, what you're going to be doing here is always going to be something that they're going to have to download to take advantage of, unless it's a link that redirects them somewhere where they can take advantage of that content, right?
Okay.
In your case, for example, coming back to what we were discussing, if you are an author and you're selling out your audiobooks, well, even more important to get one of these channels, Vimeo or Patreon. Why? Simply because one, you're a content creator. Part of it is offered for free. I'm pretty sure that the rest of the package, right, is offered in some way or form of payment. I discussed a book opportunity yesterday, and we started looking at, well, okay, you have the ebook, that's a
Mhm,
product. You have the
mhm.
audiobook, that's a product. Bedtime stories, right? I don't want to read, I want to listen. Sometimes I do want to read, right? You can have also um, hard copies, signed copies, if that is part of your breakdown. So going to platform like Patreon that allows you to have, well, even Vimeo would be a great platform because for each one of these audiobook, you're going to need marketing content,
Okay.
right? So videos would come into play. So I would go one of these following to the discussion that we have had, look at the different options or platform allowing you to do so. If it's a direct sell, then PayPal, Stripe is something that you can
Right.
use. You can offer them for free, $0 transaction or dollar or two or three, right?
I have a recommendation that I
Yeah.
use.
Mhm.
SoundCloud soundcloud.com. They do have a free version where you can get a lot of companies have free where they give you a certain amount of space, or
Mhm.
whatever. But I've been using it for years, so they have a certain amount of storage. It is an audio platform, and they do have a great embed code. So what you would do is upload your audio to SoundCloud and
Mhm.
then use the embed code and put that. I would suggest like putting that on well, no, actually, because you want people to pay to download it. Well, I can get you that far.
that,
Well,
that definitely opens up in a different area of conversation because SoundCloud cloud will make you think about things like Reverb Nation, Spotify, basically sound system. And that
Mhm.
could be something that could also lead to a product development. I assume that the audiobook could have a little bit of sound to it that makes it a product that is accessible there. And that gives you also subscription marketing uh, option. Very interested and curious with what you'll do next. Book a meeting. We'll talk about more and we'll
Yeah.
see exactly where
Thank you.
you can take this as well.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, pleasure. Paul, you were next, and then after that, Ariel.
Yes, thank you very much,
You're
Virgil.
welcome.
First of all, as far as Kevin, I just want to throw this out to you too. I don't even know if this was covered, but um, just about every pay processor service that is, handling money for transactions, PayPal, Stripe, Square, just there's just tons of them out there. But just about every one of them, you can actually make a customized invoice from the when you're logged in there, and then you send the invoice to them. They pay it, and then part of your invoice is that you have your MP3 file or your video, whatever it is. It could be an ebook, PDF, and that will then allow them to download it when it sends the thank you email. So it's all part of that process. So that's something for you to check out. I think that might be your easiest bet,
Absolutely.
to keep
Great.
everything
Great.
smooth. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the other thing you could do is if you want to do it, manually or have a VA do it for you and not go through that trouble is once they pay you and you send them an invoice, you can just send them the link to your Google Drive. So any Gmail address, you can go up to the upper right with the 9 dots and hit drive, and it will open up a Google Drive for that specific email that you're in. So if you have several email addresses from Gmail, every one of them has its own Google Drive. So you go to that Google Drive, upload your file, and then you can just share the link with the people once they pay. So it just is lots of ways to skin that cat. Um,
Absolutely love that,
This
Paul.
is good. This is
yeah.
good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And
Mhm.
Yeah, I just want to also public service announcement. When you're in the Nowsite community, always make sure your keyboard has one of those protective silicone skins on it because with posting, there's a lot of foodie posts that we go through and they can make you drool. So you want to protect your computer. So that's important. The other thing, the last thing I want to mention is that these groups are the digital DNA for success. It's just amazing what they cover, and I am so thankful for that. That does remind me, do you all know what strand, the one female strand of DNA said to the other female strand of DNA? Do my genes make me look fat?
My genes make me look bad. Thank you for the share. Uh, Again, this is really the space for us to grow together. And anything that we have to share to each other is something that we gain in return. So definitely I encourage that. Join the newsletter or try to keep the interest going and try to make sure that we reach levels every time we go through this process. Go ahead, Ariel.
Yeah, my name is Ariel. I'm here in Montreal, Canada. And I sign up for the NAV. I don't have a website. I just had the basic. And then I had the NAV. So when I sign up, I ask them to send me the information how to make it going. And they said at the time, it's not available right now, but we will send it to you. So that was a couple of weeks ago now. And so now I just want to know what the heck to
Yes.
do now.
Yes. By the way, love the French. I'm gonna get one like that for the next session. Love the style. And
Thank you.
cuckoo from Canada as well. We're here in Montreal. Yes, the nav was delayed. However, if you started with the basic process, you also have access to the business profile. And this is what we want to start taking advantage of. You also have access to the contact list. Have you been able to log into your account since you got into
I
it?
don't know. I don't know where to go.
Okay. So definitely you need a meeting with me. I'm gonna give you the email in the chat. Please take it, send a request right away to book a meeting. I'm gonna onboard you on the process to follow. Just to put things in perspective, at least in between now and then, just gonna demonstrate the step to follow, right? So what you're gonna do on your computer, Ariel, you're gonna go
Yep.
to now.site. Okay,
Okay.
now.site. So you're going to land on this page. You see here?
Yeah.
And then you're going to go to the login. That should basically allow you to log in directly to the account. It's going to populate basically your email and your password. Do
Right.
you remember the password and email that you created when you logged in?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that should be perfect for now. Um, log into the account firsthand. You so far, have you also gone to the first part of answering the questions when you log in, or you haven't been able to do so yet, right?
No, I got everything. Everything is there for me now. I have the basic, and I just got the nav, and I just don't
Okay,
know where to go when you buy
okay.
the nav. So
So the nav is gonna come, not worry. We'll get the explanation in. We'll follow up with you shortly. You'll get an announcement most likely when it's released. So what I recommend is understanding the rest of the tool because nav will be built upon this service that you have. You have the first part, the basic,
oh yeah,
which is
yeah.
the yes, and we've been discussing on the importance about using this tool, which is really here, right?
Okay.
Understand the business profile here. I assume in what business category are you in, Ariel?
I'm sorry.
What are you marketing or offering as a service or opportunity, for example?
Well, I'm involved in the in the MLM in the multi-level industry.
Which type? Are we talking wellness? Are we talking
Wellness,
crypto?
yes.
Wellness.
Wellness,
Okay.
yes.
So here, I'll show you in a few steps what we've been discussing. So you see here, Ariel Wellness. when you're doing this, again, we'll do this as a refresher for everybody. Why not? It's a nice walkthrough. By the way, the link that I gave you, okay, on the first page, will give you a recap of what I'm about to discuss, right?
Okay.
You want to go through this conversation beyond this demonstration. The idea here is that this, when you're first, you want to end up in this section looking like this. A lot of business conversations, because as entrepreneurs, we always have a lot of things going. And even if we have only one opportunity, well, this opportunity is good for a number of different people, audience, interests, right? So eventually, all our business product profiles should look like this. Now, I'm going to show you the steps. I'm going to click on Add New. I'm going to anchor the name, because if I'm offering wellness and somebody hears about wellness, they need to know who they heard it from. As simple as adding at least my name to it would give that anchor. So aerial wellness, right? In your case. Now,
Right.
there's one thing. When we're offering opportunity, especially in the multi-level marketing industry, we always have at least two direction that we're speaking to, right? The ones that want the product for their own wellness, or the people that want to start a marketing wellness opportunity,
Right.
right? You have the opportunity to create different conversation for everybody, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
whatever you do in your words, you always want to cover these questions, what it is I'm offering. In this case, for example, I'll say this is a marketing, a wellness marketing opportunity. For example,
Okay.
wellness marketing. Actually, this is a great introduction to what we will do next tomorrow, because from something like that, we will segue into a funnel, meaning using this conversation targeted around what it is we're offering, who it is we're offering it to, and how it is, and looking into applying the marketing tool, and then going into posting to attract clientele, eventually going into the prospecting side. Doria, you threw me up with a large smile. Share, please.
Okay.
Hmm.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'll get to my point in a minute.
Perfect. So, marketing opportunity, for example, for for those looking to start, for example, a home business.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And at this point, you would say, in a few words, it's already targeted, but I could say for those homemakers, right? And now I'm
Right.
a little bit more targeted just with one added word. I could have changed for those students looking for to start a home business, right? So every time
Right.
we want to think about the who. Why? Because the how it's offered will change. This, for example, is offered with support
Yep.
and coaching,
Coaching.
right?
Yeah.
So in a few words, I have outlined the what, the who, the how. Ideally, as we discussed, we have a little bit room, so we want to add a little bit more detail to get a clear idea of who it is we're targeting, the facet of our opportunity that we're
Right.
putting forward, because all
Okay.
of our opportunity are always multifaceted, right? And they adhere to different interests, and depending on that interest, how, right? So this is what is summarized there, and this is what
Okay.
you want to take advantage of at this stage, right?
Okay.
So that way you understand where
Yes.
your
Absolutely.
nav will be
Yes.
taking you, right?
Yep.
And pay attention to, again, what we've been discussing here, right? When you do this, it's going to create content that you can use for your own good at communicating your offer, but it's also going to give you some strategy guidelines to take a look at.
Right.
Okay, so start with that, book a meeting. We'll go a little bit deeper in the conversation. And definitely, if you're in wellness, just like many of us, you will have an umbrella of products, many of them to offer, but you're only leading the conversation with top 5 or 10 products, right?
Right.
You want to have business profile for these top tier products, also
Okay.
the top tier clientele. For example, I'm pretty sure that you, Ariel, have a lot of senior friends to which you're recommending these products, or maybe crossing over from retirement to another second active life, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you were here, we were just talking about you in this segment of the targeting. This is a live example of what we were
Right.
discussing, right?
Right.
We're at this stage, we're looking at starting. We have a community, we have a support for all of us just like you. That would be your leading conversation. Maybe you're targeting niche. Talk to the people that are just like you. The conversion process is easier, and we learn from these reflexes talking to other people. Make
Right.
sense?
Yeah. I have just one other question.
Go
I
ahead.
I don't have a website. I speak three languages, which is Spanish, French, and English. So you know, I have a lot to offer
So
to the world.
exactly, you have so much to
Just
work with.
give me the
But
push.
what's going to happen is that when, okay, I'll give you this. We all have these multifaceted interests and direction. When you pick an opportunity, the saying goes, you go where the grass is greener. So when you
Right.
look at all your opportunities, even for example, out of these three language, you might be strong at all of them, but there's always one that you're stronger, the one that you have more contact, the more that you
Right.
have more reach. Let's start with that. Once
Right.
we master the process in one language, then we have a speed and we duplicate it for other languages, other interests,
Right. Yeah.
right? Let's clear out our table at the beginning, focus on one rollout, and then we replicate. Make
Perfect.
sense?
Yep. Makes sense.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Welcome home, Errol.
Merci
Go ahead.
beaucoup.
Oh, plaisir, plaisir. On va se parler français, toi et moi.
OK, c'est bon.
Super. Go ahead, Doria.
C'est bon, c'est bon, c'est bon.
C'est
Merci.
bon?
C'est
I
French
don't know what I
fantastique.
immersion.
said. I don't know what I said.
You
Okay.
said it's good.
I realize we haven't been having Thursday meetings. Are we no longer having our now site stuff so I can see what the heck is going on? And or do you have some updates for us? Let us know, or am I missing the
Ooh.
meetings that are telling me what's going on?
No, for the Thursday, I'm not aware, to be honest. I just started the Tuesday and the Wednesdays, so it's what I take care of. Maybe you request directly an update on that. It might have been temporarily halted. I haven't gotten any updates at the beginning. When there are across my decks, I'll announce them. You were looking at updates in accord to promotion or release. Was that it?
Just what's going on. We were supposed to have the nav rollout. We got the
Yes.
one step, and then you said during this meeting they're still working on it. There's delays. So just
Mhm.
as a community, keeping us abreast of what's going on as far as because we're getting people to sign up and they're like, well, where is it? And I don't know what to say because no one's saying anything to me. So I was just kind of wondering.
No, definitely, I understand. I apologize for that fall through. But yeah, it was initially scheduled to be released last week, Thursday. It was scheduled or pushed back to this Thursday. So we haven't got any updates saying that it would be deferred or delayed. So we're all expecting it to be released. However, when you're starting out, we are looking and we've been talking about how to get ready for that. That's one of the things, the idea of making sure that people took advantage of the promo now had to do with the opportunity around the price. Now that people have opted into that, one of the things is really to get them ready. We can wait for the tool to arrive and then go into the exercise of training, but I definitely recommend getting familiar with that. And a lot of what we have been discussing around the business profile has to do with the first impact of the tool. So definitely, this is something that you can introduce to the new people that you're onboarding. What is the general level of your new signing? Are they beginning, starting, well, experience or elite? What are we looking at in terms of demographic in your onboarding?
Yeah, so excuse me, great question. Some of them are new and aspiring entrepreneurs in the beginning stage, but most of them are mid, so they already have a sales process and they're looking to refine it and to automate it in a way, figure out a way to make a process. I am a business coach, so I'm not in network marketing.
Mhm.
So, so for my people that I they want something that works now. They don't care about $20 versus $100. They want effectiveness. They want to do it now, and they want to sign up, get it, and be able to activate it in real time, and not wait until, hey, we're just getting started. So I'm kind of waiting
Well,
past this all
there's
this preliminary stuff so we can actually get going.
definitely, I understand. Definitely, the urge, the necessity, depending on the level, will always be different. For the first part of your clientele, that is onboarding, the conversation that we're having again is definitely something that we want to go over. That gets them into the process of actually doing something, which is important. Understanding the dynamics that will follow is key into building it. They have mostly onboarded for the My AI in tandem to the nav, or which level of the tool do you know that your affiliates have been taking? Because depending on the level of the tool, if I came in with a nav looking only at the My AI as a beginner, there's a lot of conversation to be had. If you're more seasoned entrepreneurs are also looking at the nav, then definitely they're all looking at this. Depending on what if they're looking to streamline better their business, then definitely these conversation and these understanding was something that they would want to take a look at. And it's really between now and tomorrow. So let's see. Have you brought them all
Yeah.
together, seen the experience around the tools that they've picked up so far?
Some, but they're not. So this is so they jump. So for instance, one client jumped on, even though um, they're not at this stage yet. They're not at this stage to start marketing, but they kind of got on board just because of the promotion. So we're working on that. You were in one of the sessions with, I think, with them, my people in California. But for the others, from that experience, it kind of made me hold off on promoting because uh, just knowing the process and what it takes just had me like put it on pause and let me just wait till to go out so I can manage expectations. I can, kind of stay ahead of it just a little bit and just kind of know what's going on, what to expect, and then more effectively know how it will affect their solopreneur business that are not in network marketing. So I
Definitely.
just wanted to know, just wanted to get some updates so I can manage expectations on our
Sure.
end.
Yes, definitely managing expectation are key in the relationship that we're building with the people that we are onboarding. Um, Again, what I would suggest is definitely making them understand that the tool is coming. The reason why the urge was there to take advantage of it was really securing the price. And in terms of managing expectation, very important at this stage. Let's try to get them to understand the basic use of the tool. Again, that will get them busy and prepared for what is to come. Often enough, again, we want things whether or not we're ready to use them. And if these are not available, it allows us as coach or leaders to start shifting the energy in terms of let's get ready before the tool is available, as opposed to starting the process when the tool is ready. One of the things that is happening for the season uh, salesman already, what I expect or what they would be actively doing is separating their list in different interests and uploading them into the contact section, which already keeps a lot of busy and momentum going. Makes sense? So try to have probe your audience in terms of, okay, well, where are you in your business? Because that gives you a clear understanding of the expectation. But right away, let's look at how ready you are for the race when the green light is lit, right? Let's make sure that you have your list in there. Let's make sure that you have your business profiles in there. And through that exercise, let's look at, okay, well, this is what you said, this is what you are expectedly doing, or let's update the process to that. So that part for what is to come is so crucial. And even the parts that are not open yet gives us good understanding, like we discussed about the ebook. How do we turn this into upsell already? So this allows us to understand the process, prepare for it. Even if the nav is going to automate it, we want to put in the directions that the AI will follow. Make sense? Okay. And again, we'll know more tomorrow. Ideally, the tool will be out, and at that point, the race will be on for those ready or not. Here it will be. Make sense? Perfect. Love the smile. Perfect.
Thank you. Merci.
Welcome. Plaisir. Jean, you want to go ahead? After that, I'll take Isha and we'll be at the end of our session for today.
Yeah, just two things. Of course, the past 2 Thursdays we had Thanksgiving, and then last Thursday they were flying out to the GoPro event on Friday, so that's why there wasn't anything last Thursday. But now you're saying that, and you said tomorrow, but then you said Thursday. So this Thursday is
Thursday,
when
sorry. Thursday.
Sorry. This Thursday is when we're anticipating NAV to be available.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Because
Thursday.
support
Yeah.
told me sometime this month. And I wasn't sure. So.
So from what I was taught again yesterday, you can quote me on that. You can go back to the videos. This is what basically I put forward. This is what also I receive as information so far. If there's anything else, we will know. Again, I'm expecting to use the tool myself. I haven't taken a tour of it. I understand what it is, and definitely I'm preparing for it. And did we also take a look at what's happening with the new customer profile, the enhanced info and such? This is so important as well.
We have not yet. No.
Yeah, so I would recommend taking a look at that because for those who have the unlimited, most likely have the enhanced feature, and this is important. Look at your list, right? Uh, Upload them, enhance them, because there's has been a little bit of change, and I think for the better in what is happening in the prospect when you're getting the profiles. Take a look at it. Uh, you see how it has changed, and there's a lot of data here.
Now, this is for
Right.
unlimited because it used to be for the added $38 a month to get the enhanced.
No, that's well, the unlimited had a basic amount of enhancement, and the $30, the power pack would turn these enhancement into unlimited. Okay,
Okay.
So by default, when you get the service, you get a limited amount of enhancement because the profile that you're getting through the platform are already enhanced. They're already enhanced, so you get an amount of enhancements for your own profile that you'll be uploading to see if they are in your database and what else we can pull from them. Right. So with the sales load, the $38 power pack, that enhancement goes to unlimited. Whereas I think with the unlimited, it's capped at 100. Make sense? Okay, so start looking at that, bringing in if you're bringing clients outside of Nowsite into the contact list, first try to organize them in categories of interest, unless you just got them randomly from an outside source, right? If these are relationships that you have been building, you know which category of interest they are and which list they should be organized, brought back into the system so that we can start applying products that speak to those interests, right? This is very important. If there are contacts that we got randomly outside there, we have the feature where we can try enhancing them, see what we get. Keep in mind that if you are unlimited and you have 100 enhancement monthly, you want to count your shots, right? Try to see if I build a relationship and I get a response, then it's worth trying to enhance this to see what more I can get to get into that pitch, that sales approach, these stressors, building the conversation. At the beginning, technically, this is something that you're going to be doing. But if I match from the beginning people in the same category of interest, there are certain likeness traits of behavior that will fall in line. I'm pretty sure that we on the grand scope have a same pattern in which we approach life. We're open to opportunities. We're all opportunity seekers, right? We're looking at self-development and personal development. We have an interest in marketing and sales, and all that will make for specific syntax in the conversation that will always grab us in. So these are the things that we're now looking at doing. By default, this is what the nav is expected to do for us. But the sharper we are, the sharper we make the tool react to what we want. Makes sense? We are the hand that drive the wheel. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know how to build a car, but I want to learn how to drive it like a pro. Right? Even if there's autopilot at one point, I want to take control, put it in overdrive, leave it in automatics. I control the machine. Don't let the machine control you. Make sense?
Perfect. One more
Perfect.
thing too is in another group that I'm in, a group chat, they shared the link for Justin's presentation from last Thursday or Friday, or this past weekend of the GoPro. It's a 30-minute presentation on Nowsite that includes the nav. Is it okay to share it here?
Absolutely. Please
Okay.
do.
Okay, cool.
I will include it as well in the platform. I was actually not able to attend, so definitely everybody take a look at
It's a
that.
very good presentation. It's 29 minutes and something seconds long. It's covers everything in Nowsite that we want to present. And then if you're a video editor, you can probably chop it up a little bit to send just the my AI and the nav if you wanted to someone. So, but
Okay. I just actually included it in the website by default. So if you are there, you will be able to see it. And I'm going to create a little bit of a conversation around it. So everybody grab the link, take a look at it. If in doubt, we will have it to refer on the website. And this is how agile we can get with this platform. This is what we want to be doing here, right? In real time, I got information in real time. This was made available. That is power of this tool. So anything you get, if there's a strategy around it, can be used to bring in the acquisition, the conversion, and build up that retention. Go ahead, Keisha.
One of the things I also have been doing with my clients,
Mhm.
Daria, is that I tell them, listen, technology, they're building something that never existed before. So if they find a bug, I would rather they stop and fix it than work so hard to meet a deadline of getting it rolled out. So I made the negative a positive. They're looking out for me. So therefore, they're making sure that what they give me is a working progress, a working process, not a work in progress. So that's how I handled it with my with the folks that signed up with me. Plus, they're not actually charging for the nav yet because I haven't the $20 hasn't hit my account yet. So
Definitely good points to manage expectation. You reserve your right for it. You haven't been charged for it. Let's get ready for it. Right. At that point, the pushback is only excuses that we overcome objection handling and such. Make sense? Perfect, Paul. You still have your hand raised. We'll hit that one for the road. And definitely, everybody, take a look at that cheat code I gave you. Since we discussed a lot about payment option today, we had a conversation around embedding. We have both tutorials and asset there. Let's take a look at it. It only requires you for this code that I gave you to have a PayPal account. Doesn't even have to be a professional. If you opt for another payment gate, get the embed code. So on the next exercise, you'll be able to follow in tandem. I'll probably use that code for the funnel exercise, top to bottom, down to marketing something out.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate it, Virgil.
Pleasure.
The Now site nav coming out hopefully tomorrow, like you said. Just to let you know, my personal thing is what they did was I've got the power pack with the additional enhancements for 38 a month. They just added the 20 to that. It was on the 4th, which was what, almost a week ago. Tomorrow will be a week. So you might, if you have the power pack, you might notice they charge you the extra 20, and that would be for the Now site nav. Now, my question is to you and Robert and anyone else, will the enhancements part of the Power Pack that we just went over, is that going to be totally replaced by the nav because of the way it's going to, you know, scrape all your data on all your contacts that are in the Nowsite system, show you a prioritized list of who to go after because of what you have in common, how to approach them and start conversations. But is that enhancement part of the Power Pack in addition to that and supplemental, or is it replacing it? You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, and I'm going to bite my tongue on that one. I don't want to overspeak on what I do not know. Even the simple process, like you said, of scraping the whole of the database, that I'm not sure how to answer that because there are some compliance issues that we're going between the prospect that you're getting from the platform and the one that you're bringing in. So there are conversation here. As far as the Power Pack goes, this is an add-on feature, right? So you having opted for the Power Pack, the enhancement was just one of the add-ons. The Power Pack gives you a set of other features. Some features may overlap between Service Pack, so we'll have to wait and see how that is balanced out. But again, it's always done in your favor as far as I've understood. We tend to give more than we take. Make sense? Perfect. So
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
pleasure, pleasure. So with that said, today we're at the end. Tomorrow is a new session. Take the time, like I said, to vote on that form. I will be updating the question based on how the conversation goes. I'll try to gauge, like I said, practical exercise for those who need them, case studies for those who are interested in them. All in all, I think there's always some information that we can use from that. So keep in mind, follow the updates. Whatever I create, which is of use or has, somebody said the form. Yeah, I'll show you. It's on the newsletter here. You will notice that in the coming up section, the last tab, I've created this Google form. And it's very simple. Point and choose what case study you would want to have or topics for next Q&A or case study that you would want me to do. Some of those we'll be able to discuss. Others I'll just do a tutorial video and run it through depending on what we decide. So this allows me to gauge a little bit, like I said, what happens, for example, here in real time. It will let me know who answers the question and give me basically a pie chart of where the interest goes, right? So that way I can prepare myself for the next meeting. And this is definitely some type of strategy that could probably be applied in one shape or form across what you are doing. It's community management, I would say, and it's retention process in our business. The more I am aware of what my audience is looking for, the more my offers will be up to date. Coming back to what we discussed, handling expectations, right? Make sense? Perfect. The I will try to keep the format simple. So what you see as offered, I will update. For example, the cheat codes or the information there, I will update, and everything will find itself into the team section. So join the team. The links are on the platform there. Good. Perfect. And any questions that haven't been answered, I will go over them and basically add them to the Q&A.
Hey, Virgil, I just posted just a snapshot of the Now Site AI Power Pack for 38 a month, just the main features and benefits from the
Mm-hmm.
link Robert put in there. So just want to let you know I posted that for people to look at it.
Yeah, I see. I have to go over this. When did you receive this recently?
No, it's on the site. I just went there to the site
Okay.
that Robert had put in the link for for the AI Power Pack, so you can see what it is for what the value is for 38, because I didn't even know all the things that are in there. But yeah, I just posted a screenshot because it shows you unlimited, you know,
But
GP
if you got to scroll all the way
4X.
down the bottom of the page, those are actually things that are sold separately on top of the $38 power pack. These are additional things to purchase.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so if you
gotcha.
scroll all the way down, you'll see that where you could choose $38 power pack, and then you could choose the extras.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Again,
so those are
keep
all extras right there. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for Gene.
because there's part of these services that are combined in the 38, but some of them are add-ons, so you can personalize your tools. But again, it comes back to scaling up our need in a core to what we're doing. The ultimate plan itself is plenty. If you have specific strategies around the power pack, then you start adding those. But usually I expect to see a full run of your platform before you get these extra cannons, right? Otherwise, you're just weighing up your bag and not necessarily being very agile with your tools.
Virgil, maybe Robert could just
Hmm.
confirm this, but I just looked at it, what Gene just said, and it looks to me like 70% off of all of those things listed that I just posted is the 38 a month. You do get all of that. What Gene's saying, which is, I think, what the truth is that sold separately, you can add them on, just have one or two or three. But if you bundle all of them, you get them all for 38.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me just see here.
Correct.
Let's go to
Because what
it.
Gene said just confused me because I thought he was saying you have to buy them separately on top of the 38,
I
but
thought you
that's,
had to also, but now I see what you're saying. You can get it's an either or, get the whole
yeah,
bundle
you
and
get them
save
all for
30%.
38, or you can get
Okay.
them individually and kind of piecemeal them out at the separate prices.
I stand corrected then. Thank you.
and
So
just
this
so
is what
that
we're discussing. Basically, the total price power pack is 138. But this is what we're looking at.
can you
But
guys
I
hear me
think
okay?
Huge discount.
Yeah,
Can
go
you hear
ahead,
me
Robert.
okay? All right. First, to clarify, that is an old offer that we don't
That's what I was about to say.
offer. And if you look at the very bottom there, it said that it had an expiration date. The thing about Nowsite is sometimes they don't get to all the updates. Sometimes those things don't get changed. Sometimes those offers don't get updated, if you will. So it's there. If it's available, great. If
Mm-hmm.
not, you waited too long.
Exactly.
and I think a nice Virgil's being really nice about the way he's trying to say this, that some people just want to get everything. Give me everything. Do I have that? Do I have this? Give me everything. Give me, give me, give me. And what he's trying to say is just get the simple basics, use it, get some success. Don't worry about all of this other stuff. Add on, add on, add on, because then when it comes a few months down the line and you haven't done anything because you're overwhelmed with everything that you've got, then you're going to be upset saying, I'm spending all this money
Money.
and I'm not getting any results. So stop looking at everything and trying to pile on all of this stuff until, just like I think Virgil, you were saying it so nice,
Mm-hmm.
like walking up a mountain, right? Are you going to get the biggest backpack and all the stuff and and try to get up that mountain, or are you just going to take the simple necessities, get to the next checkpoint, and then add some more stuff?
Mm-hmm. Being efficient and agile is the conversation that we're having. And again, this is one thing. We above everything that we will say about pricing and offer, the road to the updated offers is always with support. Right? Because again, even for the power pack here, they'll let you know if these prices are still available or have changed. So it's a reference point. You can always ask support, but again, keep in mind what we just confirmed. Let's scale our organization. Let's take on new tools as we've mastered the previous one. That way we remain agile. And this is actually what is supposed to be if we all kept actively in the now side space. Technically, these tools are because for me, for example, if everybody that has been using the business profile properly and the original sales flow as well as the star system. If you understand what Nav is, it's a blend of all these tools. It's a blend of all these tools. We're giving you the automation with it, but again, drive the car. Because if I know all these tools work like that, and this is what Nav is now going to automate, then I have to worry about two things: the beginning process, which is the business conversation, and the end process, which is the conversion and the upsell. Right? So let's try to master these conversation. Let's go through these different tools as a refresher so that we understand, okay, well, we're prepared for what is to come. And everything that we discuss has hinted around that. Mastering the business conversation allows us to have stronger marketing asset, but also understanding who we're targeting and starting to upload our business, our contact list allows us to start doing that work. We can leave it to chat to Nav, give it a dump of process of uh, of contact and expect it to pull miracle, or we can understand what we are looking at doing and give it precise task. The more precise the task is, the command is, the more successful is the return of it. Make sense? Okay,
Insert
perfect.
garbage in, garbage out.
Oh, yeah, that's the saying. Garbage in and garbage out. Gold in. Ooh, the Midas touch is what we want. All right. So we'll see each other tomorrow. Take a look at that cheat code for those who have no billing options. It's something to consider. From there, we will go over the next step, if anything. We'll look at quickly using the sales funnel because, in the end, part of these posts that Nav is going to be suggesting at one point, we're going to include that post that is actually a funnel. If you really like this conversation so far, you should click on this link down the rabbit hole. All right, perfect. So we'll see you tomorrow. And it's always a pleasure. Love you guys.